It's not replacing you as a developer as of right now, but take into account things like these as soon as you prompt it properly, or as soon as you have some sort of experience in developing, you're just so much quicker. It's actually unfair. Like, I created this route optimizer without basically any coding experience in, 10 minutes so far. And most people that have actually got coding experience and would not use AI would be slower in doing so. So I've built something quicker than someone who's actually a software engineer or developer that does not use AI, and I have no coding or development experience. So this is an unfair advantage if you actually make use of AI in the way that I am showing you right here. Building geo applications has never been easier. Today we're building a route planner, a transport planner, so that you can upload an Excel sheet and immediately get the best, most efficient route. And this is how we will be doing it. So we will ask bolt.new, which is a AI tool, to help us build exactly this. So what we will do is we will tell bolt.new, we are building a geographic application. We will call it Route Optimizer. User should be able to upload an Excel sheet. AI recognizes the address columns / locations, and it optimizes for the best route. So that's what we'll be doing, right? Quite simple. And for now, we will only be building the front end. In other words, we will only be building the visual sense of the app. So we don't need a backend that really saves the sessions, even though that would be ideal, obviously. For now, we will just be able to upload our Excel sheet, see the best route. And what we will do as well is say we should be able to then open that route in Google Maps. Great. So this is what we'll start out with doing. Bolt.new will now start to generate a script for us and we'll start coding. So what we have right here is our app in React being developed for us, which is quite insane. And as soon as it is done with the first version that indeed matches all of our requirements that we just prompted it to give us, it will show us what the app will initially look like. Now we could obviously still iterate on that because we can keep adding more prompts and making edits, but as soon as it's made the first version, it will also display us the preview. So let's see what it is looking like. So this is our route optimizer. Now let's see if it works. And what I will do to do exactly that is ask ChatGPT to generate us a Excel sheet with those routes. So here we go, this is ChatGPT. And we will ask ChatGPT, generate an Excel sheet as sample dataset for routes. We need addresses / locations. So it will start generating an Excel sheet for us. Currently, I am seeing a few Dutch addresses, but I do not think these are real streets. Actually, I'm pretty sure they are not real streets. So I'll actually ask it to use real data, real locations, real addresses. So in case you're working for a postal office or you're working for any sort of transport company, this is something that you could build. So we'll actually ask ChatGPT to use the search feature so that it can actually search for real locations. These seem to be randomized. They're still based on the initial 5, I believe, but since it's using pretty regular addresses. Now I will say, do not add the distance columns and give me a downloadable file. Seems like ChatGPT is harder to handle than Bolt.new, which shouldn't work that way, but we'll see if Bolt.new actually generated us something that works. Starting out, seems like we indeed have an Excel sheet. Download has been made. Now we can go to Bolt.new and we can drag and drop it in here. The locations are immediately detected. We can open it in Google Maps and it should have came up with the most efficient route. Now we will actually have to check if that is indeed true. And I don't think it is, because currently it's going from Amsterdam to Rotterdam to Utrecht to Haarlem and back to Delft. So that's not the most effective. Make sure that the points are displayed on a map. Keep on uploading the file, and that it actually calculates the most effective route. Take into account this is only the second prompt, so this is how quickly we can actually generate these applications or an app like this. Also take into account I've not really given the AI any input as to what I am really building, at least very limited, and I've not really given it any input as to what to use for the route optimizer and the geocoder. So currently it's just thinking from the knowledge that it's initially been prompted with Bolt.new, like the initial programming of Bolt.new, without any prompting that I do now, like the system prompts. So I'm not entirely sure if this indeed takes into account what the best backend, or at least the best route optimizer / geocoding application would be. And it also seems as if we need a Google Maps API key. So let's actually check if we can get that. So to do that, you can actually just Google developers.google or Google Maps platform and API key. You should be able to go here to the credentials page. Click create project, and then you can start a project name. So let's call it Route Planner. You do not need an organization, I believe, so you can just click create. But do take into account it's now creating an API key for me. I obviously should not be sharing that API key with you, so I will be deleting that API key before I upload this video after recording. So right now we are seeing our API key, which we can copy. We can go to Bolt.new and go to our code and paste it wherever we need to paste it. It should be somewhere in the env file, probably in types. Well, what we can do is just tell Bolt.new, this is my API key. Oh, not why should you care? What we can do is tell Bolt.new this is our API key. Now obviously we can also just search for it in the file structure, because usually it's saved under a env file. I think in this case it's just putting it in the app.tsx. To be honest, for this video, not a problem. I would recommend using an env file, .env file, in case you know what that means. If you don't know what it means, by the way, just make sure to have a decent attention span and go to ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT what that means, and you'll find out exactly what that means. You know what? For the sake of my argument, I'll do it. I'll do it right now, actually. What is a .env file? An environment file is a simple text file used to store environment variables for applications, API keys, database credentials. So basically your env file is where you store credentials that you would not like to share. Purpose is that you can actually separate your configuration in your code. So if you have an app and there's like 5 API keys from 5 different apps involved, you can basically just put them all in one file so that you have one place where you essentially store all of the critical information. So whenever one API key expires, you exactly know where it is. So that's one benefit. The other benefit is that you just separate it from the regular code. By the way, indeed, do not commit it to your version control. So use a git ignore file. And yeah, use secure handling. I think that's obvious, but make sure to take that into account. I will be deleting that API key that I created previously. Anyways, we should now be having a Google Maps API key that is actually configured in the app component. So bolt.new did not do something ideal there, but well, it is an AI after all, or just a large language model after all. So definitely it's not replacing you as a developer as of right now, but take into account things like these as soon as you prompt it properly, or as soon as you have some sort of experience in developing, you're just so much quicker. It's actually unfair. Like I created this route optimizer without basically any coding experience in, 10 minutes so far. And most people that have actually got coding experience and would not use AI would be slower in doing so. So I've built something quicker than someone who's actually a software engineer or developer that does not use AI, and I have no coding or development experience. So this is an unfair advantage if you actually make use of AI in the way that I am showing you right here. Going back to the main point, let's drag and drop our Excel file again and see if it has indeed optimized our locations. Seems like we do have a problem, so maybe the software engineer was a little quicker than the AI still, depending on how experienced the software engineer is. But even if the software engineer is quicker, it has to be a very, very, very experienced one to be quicker than AI in coding. And still, I mean, I am the person right here that has no experience, and I'm still the person coding this thing for the sake of coding it, just to show you how easy it can be to code something the way I'm coding it right now. We do have a little problem. Seems as if our API key is actually not activated, so that's something that the experienced software engineer also wouldn't have seen. We still have to click the blue button. I think that's the problem that we have right here. Now it seems to be enabled. Now we have to protect our API key. So we can select a restriction type and say we restrict it to only particular websites or IP addresses. To be honest, I'm deleting it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's say API restriction. And we could say geocoding API, so that it's only used for that purpose. So if you were to try and use my API key that I will be deleting, so you will definitely not be able to use it, you would still be able to use it for any of those other purposes. Anyways, I will just be restricting it to, let's just restrict it to that API key. I mean, I need to, actually I can skip it. Perfect, never mind. We skip that. Now I am pretty sure my API key should be enabled. So we'll refresh our page, and next we will just upload our file again. So drag and drop it here. Boom, nice. And what we're seeing right now is 14523. And what you're seeing as well is that it has actually thought out the route in a much more effective and efficient way. And if we now open this in Google Maps, let's see if it indeed got the right order. Previously, it gave us the 4-hour route. Now it's actually gave us a less than 3-hour route. So you can see you actually save more than 25% time by just making a simple app like this that I made in 15 minutes. So I hope that's been a valuable video for you. If you want to learn more about GIS, you can check out my links below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video.